Hi friends, we will again read a small poem which talks about a king who is contented and a scholar who is also contented. What happens to a king who is contented and a scholar who is contented, we will see. I will read the poem, you please read it after me. Then I will see whether there is any point of grammar. Then we will close reading the poem again. Dvavimau grasate bhumihi Sarpo bilashayaniva Rajanam cha virodharam Brahmanam cha pravasinam. Yes, so this poem, as I said, is talking about two people. That is, one is a king and another is a Brahmana. Brahmana here does not refer to a particular caste, it refers to a scholar, somebody who is expected to be a scholar. In olden days, the duty of a Brahmana was to study and teach. That was his main duty. Swadhyaya, Pravachana. These two are the duties of a Brahmin. The duties of a Kshatriya were to, of course, not that he is an ignorant man, he will also read. But his duty is not to teach. He is not in the teaching job, he learns, he studies. But then his main duty is to protect people. His main duty is to build up strength and protect people. Somebody else's duty, a businessman, his duty is of course to study. Veda was open to all. So these people, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, all the three categories, they studied the Vedas. And then his duty was to build up wealth. So there was a sort of division of work, or rather division of various duties in society. So a Brahmana, being a person being in charge of education, somebody who is in charge of study and also teaching, Swadhyaya and Pravachana. So that is how this man is on one side, and the king. Suppose the king, what is he supposed to do? In olden days, why olden days even now, replace the word king by a country's head. Any country's head, let us say. A king, suppose he is happy, he is contented, yes, this is my kingdom, I am very, very happy. The neighboring king doesn't keep quiet. The neighboring king will be sending his own spies. He will be encouraging some people, some dissidents within this country. And then the enemy king, he will be giving some money to our people here and encouraging our people to, say, revolt against us, to bring some sort of, to create an atmosphere of discontentment among people. So the people, they get discontented. And then people rise and revolt. So the neighboring king comes and then happily takes over. So a king should always be alert. King means any head of the government, or rather any government, or rather in a modern society, you take say America, you take Russia, you take another country, whether it is China. Every country tries to become strong at the expense of others, because it cannot become strong on its own without putting some sort of check on somebody else. So if India wants to do something, China wants to put some check. If India wants to rise, America wants to put some check. So in similar manner, say every country wants to be strong at the expense of somebody else. So that is why it is said there is no real friendship, or there is no real camaraderie among nations. All camaraderie is totally outward. There is no altruism among nations, it is said. That is how it is said. So a king should always be alert about direct attack, indirect attack, all these things our king should be very well aware. Direct attack was there in olden days. Even now, of course, direct attack whenever possible they do. But direct attack is, not liked by, not admired by all other people. There is what is called United Nations and all. They will find fault and say you are the aggressor. So you don't want to look like an aggressor, you want to look like a savior. So you create some problem in that country, and when there is a problem, you go there like a savior and then establish your authority. So that is what we do. We means big powers, they do now. So this is what the poem says. Rajanam cha avirodharam. Rajanam is Dvitiya Vibhakti, that is objective case. Rajanam cha avirodharam. A king who is not, who doesn't rise up against others. Avirodharam. Virodham is to be enmical to somebody. Avirodha is somebody who is not enmical to anybody. A king who is not inimical to anybody, a king who doesn't rise up to, say, consolidate himself, to strengthen himself. So that is what it means. Not that he has to be an expansionist to go about conquering people and all that. Avirodha means somebody who is always recognizing his enemy, who are his real enemies. A king has to know. If a king doesn't know, a king doesn't identify who are his real enemies. Like our great Prime Minister Nehru, he trusted in everybody. He did not look at anybody as an enemy. He trusted everybody, and everybody ditched him. So that is how our country lost, say, places like Kashmir, and lot much of humiliation our country had to accept. So a king has to be like that. King should be always alert. Should always be alert about his enemies. So, Rajanam cha Avirodharam, Brahmanam cha Apravasanam. Brahmana here, as I said, it does not refer to a Brahmin alone, it refers to a seeker. It is not exactly a spiritual seeker, a scholar, let us say. A scholar who doesn't go abroad to study, because in his own land there may not be any great teacher. Somewhere in a distant land there may be a very, very great teacher, a very great eminent writer, an eminent scientist. So this man has to go out. So that is why our people go out to America and all other places, to good universities to study well. So a scholar should not be confined to a small place. If he says, no, I will stay in my own village and study, if I will stay in my own town and study, it is not possible. So a scholar has to go out in pursuit of study. A king similarly has to look out for his enemies, very actively look out for his enemies. A king who is not on the lookout for his enemies, and a scholar who is not going abroad for further study, what happens to them? The bhumi, dva vimau grasate bhumihi. Bhumihi imau dvau grasate. This earth swallows these two. So that is what it is. Dvau imau is in Dvitiya Vibhakti, that is objective case. The earth swallows these two people, the king and the scholar. Earth swallows means the society swallows. Earth doesn't swallow anyway. Is a figurative way of saying that they meet their doom, they perish. These two people, they perish. Earth swallows means the society, the circumstances, they swallow them. This king is defeated and then he is sent home, and then the scholar lives like a fool in his own village. So that is what it is. Dvavimau grasate bhumihi. Then there is an example given. Sarpaha bilasayaniva. Sarpo bilasayaniva. Bila means a small burrow. You see some small rats, etc. They make burrows in earth. So a rat is there in a small rat, or a mouse is there in a burrow. And then it is feeling secure. It is not bothered about anything. It is feeling secure. And some snake goes and then catches hold of that, that mouse which is there in that burrow. So like a snake swallows a small animal, the petty animal in a burrow, this king and the scholar, they are like animals, they are like the small rats and mice living in some burrows. Like frog in a well, we say. Frog in a well. Frog in a well may at least jump about here and there, but this small mouse in a burrow, it can't escape anywhere. Simply the snake goes, just swallows and comes out. So it is like that. So the doom, in fact, they meet their doom. This king who is not alert to his enemies, and a scholar who doesn't pursue education by going out, these two people, they are swallowed by earth. So that is what it means. So here the grammar, if we see, dvau imau becomes dva vimau. That is a sandhi. Sandhi means a euphonic combination. Dvau plus imau becomes dva vimau. Dvau becomes dva vimau. Then grasate bhumihi. Bhumihi grasate. Grasa is grass. The English word grass and grasa, one and the same. Grass is something which is eaten. Grasa also means food actually. Grasanam means eating. Grasate bhumihi. Sarpa is serpent. Serpent and sarpa are again cognate words. Sarpaha bilashayan iva. Those which are living in burrows. Sarpaha becomes sarpo as sandhi. Again a euphonic change. Then rajanam cha avirodharam. Brahmanam cha apravasinam. Pravasa means going out, staying in a distant land. Pravasa. Vasa means to stay. Pravasa means staying in a distant land. Pravasi, like we celebrate some Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. So the people who are non-resident Indians, people who are abroad. So like that, apravasinam, somebody who doesn't go out in search of studies. So that is what it means. So we'll read the poem again. Dvavimau grasate bhumihi
Dvavimau grasate bhumihi
sarpo bilashayaniva
sarpo vilashayaniva
rajanam cha virodharam.
Virodharam.
This word avirodharam, dataram, like data, dataram, dataro, datrum, like that. Dataram is dvitiya ekavachanam. That is, in say, accusative case, singular number. Yodha, Yodha is another one. Avirodharam becomes that particular king in instrumental, in accusative case. Rajanam cha virodharam.
Rajanam cha virodharam.
Brahmanam cha pravasinam.
Brahmanam cha pravasinam.
This is a poem from Mahabharatam. In fact, our Mahabharatam is a very great epic. And in that great epic, say there are several passages telling such, verses. And then this was one verse told to the king Dharmaraja. So that is how it is. Fine.